Hey everyone, I'm Johnny, and this is my co-host, Connor.
Welcome to our podcast, Dad Shoes.
Have you ever wondered where a dad joke comes from?
Or how dads just seem to have the right wisdom for the moment.
Maybe you're just trying to figure out what your dad was thinking. Or maybe you are a dad and you just need to hear,
Hey man, us too.
well, we're learning what it's like to wear the dad shoes.
And we would love for you to join us on the journey. First things first though, John, live sports is back. When's the last sport you watched?
The last sport I watched was college football. It was the Florida State Seminoles, go Noles, and I didn't actually watch the whole thing because I was at work when it started, and it was delayed because we live in Florida, and it's funny to think because Florida is such a big state, the weather in South Florida doesn't normally indicate the weather in North Florida, but the storms that impact my day at work frequently will impact Tallahassee. So I get home and my mother had come up, so she came over to give us a date night. So we went out and I get home, the game is just starting. Like I see the pre-kickoff stuff and I go in, I take a shower, I come out, there's 5 minutes into the game, right? It just started, delayed because of weather. So I get ready, got showered, and then we left. My wife and I went out to go on a date, and we did go out. We went to a restaurant to have dinner, and that's a whole nother topic we can discuss if you'd like. But then we walked on the beach, and but nice. That was the last sport. I watched like 10 minutes of college football. Just what was it, last Saturday. So yeah, go Noles. What about you, Connor? What was the last thing you watched?
Well, I got to be honest with you, John. I'm watching sports right now, man.
What?
Thursday night football.
Oh, true.
But I'm keeping track of the score. I don't even think I have any fantasy players going right now.
That's pretty funny.
I might have Odell in one league, but...
So do you have ESPN Plus? You don't have ESPN Plus.
I do not have ESPN Plus, but we have like regular ESPN.
So, all right, so I got Verizon, and I have an unlimited data plan. So when Disney Plus launched, they gave us a free year of Disney Plus, and I'm like, which is great because I was right. Yeah,
we were going to get it anyway.
Right, I was going to get it. I had the thing on there, and I'm like, let me wait. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I'll wait until I get home from work tomorrow, and I'll talk to my wife, and before I go spending $100. If you pre-ordered it and you paid for the year, it was a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So it was cheaper, not a lot, but so I wait, and halfway through the day, I get a text from somebody that says, "Hey, Verizon is going to be giving us free Disney." So I look into it, and sure enough,
yeah.
By the time, like I was so glad I didn't pre-order it because it's going to be free for me. So,
which quick pause, I just talked about having Odell on my team, and he just caught an absolute bomb for a touchdown. What? No, he was down just outside. Anyway, but that was a really great catch.
What's new?
Back to Disney Plus for free.
But yeah, so then this whole thing, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the Disney Plus is Verizon gives you Disney Plus, and then they merged with Hulu. So now you can, if you get Hulu Plus and you have Disney Plus, the Hulu is free. Yeah. Right? So awesome, that's great. But then they also throw in ESPN Plus.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's like a separate bundle that they have.
But it's the three. So yeah, so now
you get the 3-in-1.
If you get a Verizon plan, an unlimited Verizon plan, you get those three: Disney, Hulu, and ESPN Plus for free. But you still have to sign up for it, and you have to like put your credit card on there to sign up for it, and then like this whole really convoluted thing. But I go to look into it, and ESPN Plus is like $50 a month.
That seems crazy expensive.
Yeah. It does not make sense. And I'm positive I have misread something.
You must have.
There's no way that you're first of all, you're giving me for free that and Disney and Hulu. And there's no way that ESPN Plus is more expensive than Disney Plus. And there's no way that I'm going to get a $50 a month discount for getting Hulu and HBO or Disney and ESPN Plus. So I don't know, but I was looking into getting that just so I could watch football.
I think you put the decimal point in the wrong spot. I think it's like $5 a month. It's got to be.
That's what I think.
Because I looked into it. I watch mostly NFL. So ESPN doesn't really help me except for Monday Night Football.
Monday night, I think it's Monday and Thursday night are only on ESPN.
Well, Thursday is on NFL Network.
Oh, so is Monday only on ESPN?
Monday's the only one that's on ESPN.
Okay.
I was Sports Center and stuff, which is great to watch too. But we're very familiar with the free Disney Plus for a year from Verizon. We are experiencing that as well. And they changed it, and we can cut all this out if we don't need to because we're not sponsored by Verizon, so
or Disney or Hulu
or Disney
or
ESPN. Or Hulu or whatever.
Yeah. But although we can keep it in if they want.
You keep it if they want. This is like a dad tip, though, a parenting tip, because if you have Verizon, you should definitely check it out. They've amended it, though, because if you go now, you don't get a free year. You can get 6 months. 6 months of Disney Plus for
depending
free
on the plan.
Now, depending on the plan. Right. But if you have like their top plan, which I think you have to have 5G, is what because I looked into it a little while ago.
It's not the top plan, but you do have to have 5G.
If you have 5G, you get just included in your Verizon bill, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
Like, you just get that now. Which I know the other plans are doing. Like, somebody teams up with Netflix, and you get a Netflix subscription with them. I've been talking away from my mic this whole time. So
I just noticed how much better it sounds when you walked into it.
So now I have to move over here. So, yeah, you can get all that if you have Verizon. And if whatever carrier you have, but you have to log into the website and look for My Perks. Like, that's what it's called. Is My Perks.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
Like, they're not just going to show you where it is. You have to go look for it.
It's there. You get it. And what really gets me, so I'm sure I've talked about this on the show before, but it's me, my wife, my mother, my brother, my sister-in-law, and then my almost a brother. He lived with us when he was in high school, and he's just another brother. But anyway, so there's 6 of us on this plan. And when we came over from AT&T to Verizon, we all came together, and it gave us a discount on bringing over 6 plans, 6 numbers. So, I mean, that's cool. But I'm the only one with kids out of the 6 of us, and I'm the only one who was like, no, I'm getting Disney Plus. So my brother technically works for Disney, like pseudo, sort of. But anyways,
a contractor, I guess. At the very least.
I guess that's how that works. Anyways, I was like, no, I'm gonna get this, and nobody else has signed up for it. It's all like, we should probably not put that out there. Like my mom, my brother, my sister-in-law, they all work off my plan. Yeah, but we're on the same Verizon plan.
Yeah,
but so would like each phone number get their own Disney Plus subscription?
I don't think so, because we do the same thing. And you know what, Verizon, if you need to correct us, then reach out to us and we'll fix it.
Please do,
because we do the same thing. My mom has an account. She never watches Disney Plus without us. Yeah. So the only households really are like me and my brother, right? Because he doesn't live here, but he's on the phone plan, right? So he gets to be a part of Disney Plus. They didn't make that clear to me. It seemed like one Verizon account, one Disney Plus account, but I think they do. Like, they let you make profiles for a reason, you know? Right. And so that was part of my thing. So we have different profiles where it's me, it's my sister-in-law, it's my mother. And I feel like if my brother decided he wanted his own Disney Plus account, he could do that. And it'd be free through Verizon. I feel like that would be a thing. But we didn't know. We decided, why fight it? Just, here's my password. We're good. You know, it's fine. So if Verizon, if you say, no, you guys need to have your own plans, Disney Plus, holla at me. Let us know. We'll fix that. Let us know. We'll fix that. But yeah, so anyways, all that to say, I read that the football was only on ESPN Plus, and I want ESPN Plus because my mother wants to watch it, and I believe you can watch like all of the sports that are on ESPN. Yeah, will be available on ESPN Plus all the time. Pretty much on demand. But so, do you pay for ESPN as part of your package? I know this is like totally not what people want to hear about. Is ESPN part of your cable package? I don't have cable. So I don't usually have cable. My mom loves cable. I keep trying to tell her to stop paying for it because we're totally getting ripped off.
There are reasons to keep it, I've discovered. But anyways.
Yeah, I mean, they're shrinking for sure.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons would be, so we pay for ESPN as a part of our cable package. So we kind of get ESPN Plus. Like, we get the benefits of it, which is the Watch ESPN app. Like, that's really where you get to use it. Because if I log into the Watch ESPN app with my mom's cable package, I can watch pretty much any sport that is aired on ESPN on demand. I think it's just the recent stuff. I don't know if they have the old stuff. I've never really looked into the old stuff. But like, I can watch live ESPN, ESPN News, ESPN2. I think you have to pay extra for the ESPNU for like the university stuff. But it would be good for you because you're a little more interested in college football than I am.
ESPN Plus, you mean?
Yeah. Like ESPN Plus would be good for you because you're more interested in college football than I am.
Let's not get into that just yet because I got a real serious question for you, man.
All right.
All week I've been thinking about this. And it hasn't just been this week, but the question has been boiling. So to preface, last week we talked about Cobra Kai, right? And the TV show on Netflix and apparently on YouTube before.
Yeah, my brother just watched it, and he highly recommends it.
Cobra Kai. He says definitely watch it.
He says watch it. He says it's super campy, but he binged it in 2 days.
That makes sense. They're 30-minute episodes, 25-ish. They're good. Anyways, I've been thinking about it, and I did karate as a kid, and my brother's got like 2 black belts, 3 black belts, and like kung fu and something else, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I mean the kid. He's not a kid anymore. He's 30. He's my little brother, so he'll always be that kid. But he's always just been tall and skinny, and when you look at him, you're like, I could take him. Dude, that kid can fight. He doesn't. He's like super pacifist, like, whatever. I'm not even going to bother. But if he needs to, that kid can take you down.
Yeah,
and,
he's always struck me as like a good grappler.
Yeah. And I mean, I did too. And that was like, it was fun growing up. That was one of the things that we did. And he went way farther in it than I did because it didn't become a thing until I was interested in other things. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Well, theater. It's so like the opposite of girls. Like it sounds like the opposite of girls, but it's not. I was doing other things. I was doing carpentry at school. So
yeah.
But anyways, it got me thinking. My wife was a dancer. She was a ballerina, and I feel like ballerinas are like such a. Yeah, she's a ballerina. But she did ballet, she did jazz, she did tap, all that stuff. So she was a dancer growing up. And it got me thinking, like, I want my kids to do something that's going to give them, like 2 things. Discipline and activity. So, like, if that's like dance, which is super rigorous, but also really strict, then that's cool. If it's going to be like a sport, then that's cool too. But that's like, I was wondering, what do you think of for Titus and Riley? And I mean, you can't really plan it out for them at this point, but no. Do you have anything planned, like any ideas of what you'd like them to do or what you'd like to do with them?
Yeah, Marcy and I have talked a little bit about that because she has always had this dream of being a baseball mom. Like she wanted to be the team mom with the orange slices, like her son going out there and hitting a home run for her. Like she's always really dreamed about that. And we've talked about it. I love watching football.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd love for my kid to get into that, except for the injuries. That's the hard part with football is it's a very aggressive sport. If he wants to play, I'm totally going to support him. But I mean, there's a lot of injuries, and I've known a lot of people who just really wrecked their bodies because of football. He does do swim lessons. I don't know if that really counts for what you're thinking of right now.
I don't think so. It doesn't not count because swimming is a sport, and it definitely. We were talking with Tyler, and he was on the swim team. This
is more like life-saving swimming,
right? So
like we're teaching him how to recreational swim.
Right. I think swim lessons is different, but swimming is definitely
It is an extracurricular.
So I mean, because football is a totally interesting concept. Because I was thinking about I don't have boys, so it's less of an issue. Girls can play football too, and there's that chick that graduated from high school like 2 years ago, I guess, and she was the quarterback, and I think she got a football scholarship to some college. I don't know.
Wow, I hadn't heard about that.
And so I was listening to Armchair Expert with Dak Shepard. He interviewed Tom Brady.
Yeah, that was a great one,
dude. It was so good.
I loved that one.
It was such a good episode. Made me really like Tom Brady.
Yeah,
and as a Doll fan,
that's tough to say.
Man, I hate. Yeah, really. I hate
my wife asked me after I listened to it. She's like, "So does that change your opinion of Tom Brady?" And I said, "Look, the only reason I ever didn't like Tom Brady is because he was on the team that kept beating mine. Okay, that was it. Right. I totally respect the game. Like, that man works so hard to be a 43-year-old in the NFL.
He's not. Look, I've always said, I would much rather Aaron Rodgers be the best quarterback of all time. And like, well, yeah, right, exactly. But and I'm gonna hold that if Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, their teams were flipped, their careers would be flipped, right? Like, I think they're like equals in gameplay. But that completely aside, listening to that episode really like gave me a new appreciation for Tom Brady. Yeah. And I totally lost where I was going with that.
He did make a comment, and I had to rewind it a couple times to listen to it, because he said something like, "Oh, there's nobody who's good at football ever came from Georgia." And I was like,
that was so funny.
Matt Stafford came from Georgia, and they were all talking over each other, so I couldn't hear what Tom Brady had to say about Matt Stafford. I was like, wait, no, I have to know.
He said Matt Stafford's a good guy or something like that. But Dax was like, yeah, but it's Matt Stafford.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's Matt Stafford. Because he's from Detroit, so he has to say nice things.
Right.
I think he was just asking, like, he didn't realize Matt Stafford went to Georgia, but he could have just totally been like, yeah, that guy totally sucks at football. They were talking all over each other. We couldn't hear it.
I'm all for women playing football. There was, like I said, there was that girl in high school who was playing quarterback. And there's been stories of girls being kickers in high school and I think college.
Yeah.
But other than those, like, smaller positions, like, a girl wants to be a running back.
And you know what? I was just thinking about this. I just realized this. We had movies like The Mighty Ducks, right?
With
the Mighty Ducks was a co-ed team.
Yeah.
Thinking back, I think they were the only co-ed team that was ever showed in that franchise.
But I think you're right.
Boys and girls playing hockey together, and hockey's a pretty rough sport, so why not football?
Yeah, boys and girls playing rough sports. I have no problem with that. Girls are tough. And when I was a camp counselor, I took our group out on a hike in the swamp because I did Everglades camp. So we're hiking in the Everglades. And one of the boys said, hey, can we eat these minnows? Because they were catching minnows with their hands. I said, yeah, sure, you can eat them. So every single one of the girls ate a minnow. None of the boys did.
Wow.
And I always thought that was like, what if you're gonna call a boy a sissy because he's acting like a girl? Well, that's a compliment, man.
Yeah.
Those like girls are tough.
Go-Go and Big Hero 6, like, woman up, man.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, girls are tough. So if my girl said, Dad, I want to play football, and okay, that's fine. The whole concussion issue and the traumatic brain injury is my biggest concern, because you break a leg, whatever. I mean, you can survive with it. There are other issues with the bodies that you severely destroy joints. Then knees over time, not such a great thing. But generally speaking, you break a bone, it heals. You go back out and play. In a couple of months, it'll be fine. Okay. Yeah. The brain is my biggest concern. I'm leaning towards pushing my girls into dancing. Not because dancing is girly, but
my wife did it.
Well, my wife did it,
and she did something to relate.
There's that, right? So one, it'll be good for her. I noticed that my aunt danced as a kid, and when my cousins were kids, they started dancing. My aunt got back into it as like a teacher. So, one, that's great for my wife, so she can get back into it and kind of help out the girls. But also, you can dance anywhere, right? You don't need equipment to dance. Yeah. I was thinking about it just the other day. It's like, oh, you can dance wherever. Karate's a good skill to have, It gives you strength, and it gives you
Discipline.
Thank you.
Self-defense, all that good stuff.
Look, self-defense is great for anybody. It's you can say all you want that you don't want to fight, and that's great. I commend you for it. But if somebody's coming up to hurt you, you're not just going to lay down and let them hurt you. So knowing how to defend yourself, I think, is a great thing. But,
yeah. So really quick, I just got to throw this out there. Well, I want to use my platform to the best of my ability. So this is a shout out to the person who stole my glasses. I will find you. I have contacts.
That was so good. Oh man, I thought that was going a totally different direction. All right. So I've got to contextualize my laughter, because you got these blue light blocking glasses for the computer.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I need to get some of those. Send me the link. So I got them, and mine are massive. Like, the frames are just huge. And I'm looking at yours that you currently have on, and they look smaller. And I'm thinking, oh, Connor got a different set of glasses. Somebody stole his glasses.
I did get new glasses.
Like, oh, this is so funny. Connor's making a deal over like a $5 pair of glasses. This is great.
No. That's really funny. Somebody came in my room and stole my blue light non-prescription glasses. No, I got new ones because the other ones were like squeezing my head.
Yeah, these are a bit tight.
So I had to get new ones. Anyway, so we had speaking of getting our kids into extracurricular things. For us, I think something Titus is definitely going to be interested in is like chorus and singing, because he loves to sing now.
Is he any good?
He's, for a 2-year-old, maybe. I've never listened to a 2-year-old chorus before, but he loves singing. Like, he loves music, and maybe that's just a toddler thing. But
could be. He
responds really well to music. Even when he was younger, when he would fuss while we were changing his diaper, we would sing songs to get his attention. And we would get him to sing.
We do
with
the
us
same thing,
because that was like a good distraction. So he loves songs. If you sit with him like in the quiet, he will start singing. If we're in the car and I'm listening to a podcast and he doesn't care, he'll start singing. So we think chorus might be something that he'll be into. We did discover tonight, and I'm going to pretend that he was really interested in this and not that it was just a stall tactic so he didn't have to go to bed yet.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
He's completely into this.
He's so into this. So, live sports is back. The only sport I've ever really been into is been in NFL. And I've watched other things, like I'll watch the World Cup soccer. I'll try to watch the Stanley Cup when I can. Well, right now, the NBA Finals is going on. And I've wanted to be an NBA fan. But I always felt kind of weird about just jumping on the Miami Heat bandwagon. But now LeBron's not there.
Especially with LeBron, I was going to say.
It doesn't feel as bandwagony. They're in the finals. They're playing the Celtics. And tonight, I think, was like game 2. And it started at 7, which is before Titus's bedtime. So I thought, well, I'll put it on and just see if I can get into it or whatever. And I put it on before bath time. And Titus was like, he was pretty into it, actually. And he recognized what they were doing. We have a little basketball hoop on our back porch that we bought for him, and he was like, oh, well, let's go get the basketball hoop. I want to get that and bring it inside because I want to play basketball while we watch basketball. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I will absolutely do that. So I go out and get the basketball hoop, bring it in. He starts throwing everything in there. His basketball, his whale, this big doll. Woody went in there. Woody fell right through. It was pretty awesome. He just hit the ground like a rock. But he was like getting really into basketball, and so it was all fun and games until he brought out his t-ball set, and he put a ball on the t-ball set inside, and then he used Woody as a bat. Woody had a rough night tonight to hit the ball, and it's like, all right, well, we got to go take a bath. The first quarter ended, and we went and got in the bath. We came out, and usually when we're taking the bath, we'll turn the TV off. Whoever's still out in the living room, we'll turn it off before we come. But they left it on because they thought, oh, well, Connor wanted to watch this, and Titus shouldn't really be into this, and he's never really shown interest in this before. He's never watched it before, but they left it on. And when he came back in, he was like, "Oh, it's football," because he knows we watch football on Sunday. I'm like, no,
did he say it's football?
He said it's football. I'm like, no, this is Titus.
Wow.
This is basketball. And we kept saying like, oh, well, let's turn the TV off so we can read books. We can do our bedtime routine. And he's like, no, I want to watch basketball. Like, we can do that we can read books when basketball's over. Again, I'm going to pretend he really wanted to watch it and it was not just stalling bedtime. So he's like, no, let's watch basketball. We'll watch when it's over. But he was watching it, and it wasn't just that he was watching it. It was that he was able to pay attention to it enough that he knew when it got down to under a minute and it started counting down seconds. Like, he started counting down 5, 4. Now, they were still at 45 seconds. Like, they were not that close. But he started counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're like, all right, there's still 30 seconds left, Titus. Like, you're a little early there. But he recognized that the timer had gone down and it had changed. And I also noticed, now we're in the second quarter. We're watching up until halftime. He was actually, like, taking jump shots, like trying to do the motion that he saw the basketball players do. Like, not at his basketball hoop with the ball, but he was just kind of standing there. Like, he would jump in the air and kind of throw his arms together, like he was trying to do a jump shot. And I was like, oh my gosh,
that's what it looks like. Yeah.
It's like he's never watched basketball before. He's only ever seen me try to shoot a basket in his little 4-foot basketball hoop. I've never had to jump, but it was cool to see him, like, internalize that and start to mimic that motion. So I don't know. Maybe we'll have a basketball player on our hands.
Hey, dude,
I'd be cool.
That'd be freaking awesome.
I played a little bit of hoops when I was very young.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. It's like I had a basketball hoop a while ago, like when I was a child, and I loved playing basketball. It was a lot of fun. I could make the ball, and we would play with the kids in the neighborhood. So we had like a little cul-de-sac, and all the kids, we get together, we play basketball, we play stickball, I guess is what you call it. It wasn't really baseball.
Yeah.
And you try not to hit the cars in the area. We play games like that, but we did flag football on the street. That was what we did. And when I moved, there weren't kids around. So my basketball hoop went into our backyard, and we had a tennis court back there, but we played basketball on it.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
And it was just me and my brother. So it was just my brother and me, excuse me. But yeah, I got out of basketball real quick. In middle school, I think I started to play, and I didn't know there were rules to basketball. I just knew you couldn't, like, carry the ball. You had to dribble it, and there were certain places you could shoot. And so we started playing in middle school, and like, we had kids that were actually good at sports, and I just didn't know. Like, I didn't know things, and I had the same problem in high school. I went to Gardens High School my freshman year because I wanted to do ROTC in football. I showed up for tryouts for the freshman football team. Turns out it wasn't much of a tryout. It was more of just a, hey, we're going to start practice now.
Yeah,
okay, so I guess just on the team, right?
Yeah, freshman football.
And there was no instruction. It was just, we're doing this, go for it. And I'm like, I don't know what we're doing. Can somebody tell? And the coach is like, they're doing that like hard coach. Oh, just do it. Just shut up and do it. And I'm like, shut up and do what? I will shut up and do it. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And it was funny because I actually hung out with the varsity football team. And they're like, dude, why aren't you on the football team? I was like, I don't know what to do. And they said, oh, yeah, that coach is kind of a jerk.
Yeah, I had a similar experience at Gardens. And, I mean, the coaches were nice enough when they weren't in practice.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I didn't do Pee-wee football. My mom didn't want me to get hurt, so I never did like Pop Warner or anything like that. So when I got to high school, I mean, it was like, okay, well, I'm going to go do freshman football. But I could never get the splits right. That was the thing they called me on every time.
The splits?
Like the stance, like when you get on the line. And I don't know what I still, to this day, I don't know what I was doing wrong. I was standing with my legs apart and I was bent over like
like everyone else.
You know?
It's funny because I would play with the high school, the varsity football team. The varsity football team was all in ROTC, and I was in ROTC, and we played football on the weekends. That's what we did. And I played with the varsity football team as just like, hey, put the kid in, you know?
Yeah.
And got the hardest I've ever been hit by anybody, by anything. They seemed to think I did okay. So I just didn't know, man. But yeah, I mean, theater for me was it. That was what I did as an extracurricular.
I think the only other thing that we will like try to get our kids into is music of some kind, not just singing.
Yeah.
Like Marcy and I are both musicians.
Yeah.
But I mean, even now Titus is very interested in guitars. Riley's very interested in the guitars because, you know,
you can play with something.
Who wouldn't be? You know, it's something to play with.
Yeah.
But that's something we definitely want to get our kids into because Marcy and I are both musicians. I don't know how competitive or how far we want them to go, but just to expose, just to learn the skill. I'm kind of like you were saying, just something to teach you discipline, something to practice in, get a little bit more cultured, you know.
So I mean, we both play music. My daughter seems to love playing music. She loves every time there's music on, she wants to dance.
Yeah.
She likes to she doesn't have any structure. She can't sing. And my wife can't sing. And I'm not saying I can sing, but I can recognize that other people can't sing. Mm. So I mean, maybe nobody's ever taught me to sing. So I don't know if maybe I can sing and I don't know. But we've talked about it before. Like I've heard people say, "Oh, you're kind of good singing," and I think it's like maybe the right song, but I know that my daughter, she can't say. And you were talking about Titus singing when he's bored. Charlotte May has started singing along with songs that she knows. Like it's just there's almost no rhythm. There is no tone. It's just this is kind of the word sound that it's made right now.
And it's adorable. The confidence, you know, like the confidence they have. Where
man.
If I don't know the word to a song, I'll kind of pull off on that. No, just full on.
Yep.
And I with Titus, I think it's more when he tries to really belt it and he just starts yelling instead. It's like Olaf in Frozen 2.
Yep.
And that's all it is.
Every time my kids start just oh, look, Olaf showed up.
Yeah.
Man, that's too funny. But so I did archery. I've been doing archery since I was a kid, like 5, and that's one of my biggest. I'm super excited about having like a fenced-in yard, my own private area. I want to, put like a sheet hanging from the power lines in the backyard, just so if I miss, it doesn't go into my neighbor's house.
They would appreciate that.
Oh yeah, but I've got like my own space where I can do it and not feel like somebody's judging me for shooting back here.
Yeah,
and I got some space, so that's something that I really want to get back into, and I would love my kids to get into because it's just such a cool. It's just cool shooting a bow. But yeah, those are my extracurricular activities that I want my kids to do.
Yeah, we'll see what they get into. So thanks for hanging out with us today on Dad's Shoes. We would really appreciate it if you would share this with your friends. Help us get the word out. If you enjoyed our podcast, you can reach out to us on Twitter at dadshoespod or email us at dadshoespod@gmail.com. What is something that you did as a kid that you want your kids to do as well? We would love to hear from you. We would also appreciate it if you would leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks again for hanging out.
Peace.